Thanks, Ghan. Yeah, hi everyone. Many of you already know me, but who are coming late, let me introduce you. Like, I'm Associate Product Director at Zeeve. So, like, it's large time, I would say. This is an open source project built for the automation of Zombienet, and we have done it for the, you know, Polkadot ecosystem. So it has an intuitive and low-code interface, and using which you can test out many test scenarios of your relay chain and parachain, and you can make use of those configuration and make them save in the form of a template. And when you talk about templates, so you can have multiple templates of these configurations, and you can clone them, initiate a new network of the Zombienet, and check the output of the commands and logs and what are the errors that coming for the selected configurations. So I would say this is very interesting to know that the people who hustle around code and command lines, so they don't have to worry about it, because you can directly simply select different configurations and deploy it and test it and show and see error and different outputs. It has monitoring as well, so you'll be able to see the different parameters of the selected configurations. Yeah. So it's as I said, that it's an open source project. So I would love that if you guys will contribute into it, if you guys have anything which we can add into it, you can raise pull request for your adding new features, for adding new integration. So that's how we can uplift the Polkadot community. So yeah, it's a show time. Okay.
Let me do it for you.
Yeah. So that's how Larch looks like. On the left-hand side, you will see that there's a dashboard, my network section, then template, executions, activity, and lot other things like documentation and GitHub. Yeah. So let's jump over to Explorer. So dashboard, it shows you that how many Zombienet you have spawned, and it shows you how many configurations you have saved in the form of templates. And then there are executions, what are the activities that happens, what are the commands that has been executed over your networks. This is showing you total number of execution which happened on these two networks. And there are other activities which happens against these executions. And we have around 28 for these 4 execution, which we have done for our 2 Zombienets right now. So let's, at the top side, you will be able to see service endpoint. It's it provides you the ability to host a front-end interface at the, this is a hosted version, I would say. And maybe you can make use of your own local machine, because it's open source. You will be able to clone it from our GitHub, and you can initiate interface in your local machine and maybe make use of another remote machine in order to initiate these Zombienets. Okay, and there's another button which is new template. You can create a new template from there. Let's create it. So before entering the name, it will ask you that do you want boot node or not? Okay, then you can enable it or maybe disable it. Then it will ask you that do you want to add introspector for monitoring or not? Okay, then there is a provider, whether you want to make use of Podman or Kubernetes. And yeah, it's pretty simple. Yeah, so here's the next configuration of relay chain. So here you have to provide default image, like which version of the Rococo local you want to, make use of, and then there is a default command which is Polkadot, and there are default arguments. So whatever argument you want to pass at the time of running or executing this particular, command, you can add as many as you want. And then we have, node. You can add a number of node you want, and then it's Docker registry image URL you have to provide here, and yes, it's also allows you to make this particular RPC node as validator or not. Okay, and yes, it same goes with this also. Like whenever the command will run in the background, like whether you can add a number of arguments into that. Yeah. Then let's jump over to another, like it's related to parachain configurations. Like you can provide your parachain ID, and then add genesis, and then you can name collator node. I would say 1. Then you have to provide the Docker image of the binary which you want to utilize, and then the command. Let me just yeah. And yes, again, you can pass a number of arguments you want to pass at the time of executing this command.
Right, so the idea here is that, because in the background you're going to run a Zombienet scenario or simulation, while this front end is offering you all those combinations of choices you can fill in to brutally test your parachain. And it is a very important step before you go to production, test your parachain. So these options would allow you to fill in as many flags and arguments in your command to run your nodes and figure it out. So this would allow you to create ephemeral setups, test them, destroy them, recreate them, and with as many number of node counts with different arguments possible at every attempt or iteration. So these network templates, you can create them, save them for future uses, again edit them, add some more flags to the command line arguments, and change the parachain image, the relay chain image, retest it, and spin it up again and destroy it, and then recreate it. So this is all going to be very smooth through this versus how you operate Zombienet through command lines. It's going to be less complex.
Yeah, then you can move to HRMP channel, and you can add your HRMP here, and then there is test configurations. Like you can add a number of test cases over here, and like I said, like you don't have to worry about interacting directly with the command line interface. You can make use of Zombienet descriptive language here, and once I save it, it will just create network template for me.
Yeah. So maybe let us show you some running networks for the sake of time. Time is running fast, and there's a lot to show here. So when you create networks, you can pick up one of those templates you have created. Now, when we are saying we create a network, we're talking about creating a Zombienet simulation network with the configuration for relation, parachain, with all those images and arguments you just saved as a template. And when you run them, you would see them here as a list. You can run multiple scenarios in parallel and test at will. These scenarios would allow you to see the outcomes right in front of you. You would see the commands which are used in the background to run these, and you would also see the output. So when we run Zombienet on command line, we would see what happens. So you would see all the outputs here on your screen itself, and these are auto scroll, so you would see them running. And these outputs will be as extensive as you'll see them on the command line. You can pick up everything which happened, was the test successful, everything which Zombienet pumps out would be here. And
if there will be any error log, then you'll be
you would also see standard error logs and everything here. And then after getting exhausted with so many different test scenarios and figuring out how you want your parachain configurations to be, how you want to define its resilience, its robustness, you can actually go back to Zeeve automation to actually deploy a testnet or production mainnet Larch will help you test it to the teeth, brutally test it. This is what Zombienet has been created for, and Larch actually works as a graphical user interface on top of Zombienet. And as you see, we use the latest version of Zombienet here as well. And we are the maintainer of this repo, so every time there is an update on Zombienet, new runtime coming up on relay chains, we consistently pump them in here. So this is a quick on Larch. You can read about its documentation. You can go to GitHub, raise queries or report bugs, and we would definitely hear those out. This is the repository, so feel free to become a contributor, write to us, raise issues, add more features, do more integrations with other tools in the ecosystem. We ourselves are exploring a lot.
We tried to make it very seamless.
Yeah.
If you go through the documentation, and if you need any kind of assistance, anything, then we are here.